In this video, I'm going to cover the Ohio DOT Standard Construction Drawing application. So I have a design file open that has a title sheet cell already placed. And in the title sheet cell, of course, we have this area to list our standard construction drawings and supplemental specifications. So the cell itself has a bunch of data entry fields or data entry regions that were used at one time to manually enter this information. So we're going to ignore those, and we're just going to use those as our origin for placing the information on top of that. So the top left corner of the standard construction drawings is kind of our origin for placing those. And as we get into this, we'll talk about placing the supplemental specifications as well. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the application. So from our Ohio DOT workflow, under Apps, it's a title sheet group, and we're going to use the Ohio DOT SCDList application. So when the dialog's open, it's populating the list of standard construction drawings, just reading information from ODOT's website. And I've got a tab here for each of the different categories of the standard construction drawings. If I scroll all the way to the right, you'll see the supplemental specifications listed. And these are listed by the spec year that you select at the bottom of the dialog. There's also an options dialog that I can open by clicking on the options button. And I've got for the SCD area, you can define the number of rows, the row height, columns, and column heights. Same thing for supplemental specifications. So if you've had to modify this for some reason, you needed to squeeze more in the listing, you can set your row and column values and spacing settings here for any customizations you might have to make. There's an option here to select the startup spec year. So if I look at that, I can set the dialog to default to one of those two spec years. A couple options across the bottom, restore this to its original settings. I think reset basically does the same thing. Set default, any changes I make here would be set as the default the next time I open the application. Then accept these changes and just a cancel button. So I'm going to go ahead and place some in the file. So I'm going to go back to our roadway group and just pick a few standard construction drawings at random here. And I'll pick a few bridge drawings as well. One of the options I forgot to mention when I'm looking at those options, there's a checkbox here for place at the same time. So what that means, if I'm going to place supplemental specifications, it's going to use this point as the origin point for the supplemental specifications. If I am placing them separately, then I would place the standard construction drawings using this as the origin, and the separate supplemental specifications placed separately using this data entry field as the origin point. So I'm going to leave that turned on and scroll over and place both at the same time and just pick a few of these. Okay, so I'm ready to place these in the file, so I'll hit the place command, and it's going to build the list, and it's floating in my cursor, and I'm going to use this top left data entry region as my origin point by snapping to that and accepting that location. So you can see it's placed those according to the default spacing. And if I move this out of the way, we'll see those are lined up appropriately in the area. If I needed to make a change, there's a read button here. So what I can do is go ahead and pick one of the standard construction drawings and accept that, and it's going to read them and then repopulate the checklist. So I can come in and add more standard construction drawings by maintaining what I had previously placed. And now when I place these in the file, I'll give them the same origin over here, and we'll see I've got all the previous information as well as the new ones that I had checked on. So again, if I'm just adding a supplemental specification, so I'm going to clear the dialog, so it's going to clear everything that's selected, and I can pick a few more. Right now, since in my options I have placed at the same time, this would be my origin point for these supplemental specifications. I want to place these over here just below what I've got. So I'm going to turn that off and accept that. And when I hit place, you can see those are floating in my cursor, and I can use that data entry region as my origin. If you have any questions with this application, just contact the ODOT Office of CAD and Mapping Services.